The metal halls of Space Station Orion 7 echoed with whispers whenever Commander Do-hyun walked by. Soldiers stopped their conversations. Engineers looked away. Even high-ranking officers seemed to tense up in his presence. "The Wolf is on patrol again," someone would say after he passed. Commander Do-hyun had earned this nickname through years of perfect missions. He never failed. He never hesitated. And most importantly to those who feared him, he never seemed to feel anything at all. Do-hyun stood at the observation deck, looking out at the stars. His tall frame was straight and rigid in his black uniform. His face showed no expression as he watched the small ships coming and going from the station. The stars stretched endlessly beyond them, some belonging to human colonies, others to alien worlds that humans were still trying to understand. "Commander, your presence is requested in Command Center Alpha," said a voice through his communication device. "Understood," Do-hyun replied. His voice was calm and flat, like still water. As he walked through the busy hallways, people moved aside. His reputation was known throughout the Terran Defense Forces, the perfect soldier, the man who completed the impossible Krios mission alone when his entire team was lost, the officer who never showed pain, fear, or happiness. In the command center, General Kim waited with several officers and a holographic display of the border regions. "Commander, join us," said the general. "We have a situation developing in Sector 12. Do-hyun nodded and took his place at the table. The blue light of the hologram reflected off his sharp features. "The Ardaxi delegation has requested a special escort for their journey to the peace talks," explained General Kim. "They specifically asked for our best." "That means you, Commander." One of the younger officers spoke up. "Sir, with respect, the Ardaxi are telepaths. They usually refuse to work with Commander Do-hyun." General Kim nodded. "Yes, that's been true in the past. They find his emotional signature disturbing." Do-hyun showed no reaction to this comment. He was used to it. The Ardaxi, with their ability to sense emotions, had always kept their distance from him. They called his mind a frozen lake, or a void where feelings should be. "What's changed?" Do-hyun asked simply. "They're bringing someone new this time, a human specialist who works with them. Dr. Ji-soo, a xenoanthropologist who has spent the last 3 years studying Ardaxi culture." The hologram changed to show a woman with short black hair and intelligent eyes. Do-hyun studied her face without expression. "The Ardaxi trust her completely," continued the general. "She will be the bridge between you and them. This mission is critical for our relationship with the Galactic Alliance." Do-hyun processed this information quickly. "When do we depart?" "Tomorrow at 600. Your team has already been selected." After the briefing, Do-hyun returned to his quarters. The small room was neat and empty of personal items. No pictures, no decorations, nothing that showed who lived there. He sat at his desk and pulled up the mission details. He began studying the files on Dr. Ji-soo and the Ardaxi delegation. He would memorize everything about them, their customs, their weaknesses. It was what made him the best at what he did. Late that night, as the station's lights dimmed to simulate night, Do-hyun stood again at the observation deck. Stars glittered silently in the blackness of space. A maintenance worker entered, then froze when he saw who was there. Sorry, Commander. I didn't know anyone was here," the man stammered. Do-hyun turned slightly. "It's a public area," he said. His voice was neither friendly nor unfriendly. The worker hurried away anyway. Do-hyun turned back to the stars. He was used to being alone. It was better that way. Safer. Emotions led to mistakes. Connections led to loss. He had learned these lessons long ago. Yet something about tomorrow's mission felt different, a small change in his usual perfect routine. Do-hyun pushed the thought away and continued staring at the cold, distant stars. Tomorrow would come soon enough. The transport ship moved smoothly through space. Commander Do-hyun stood by the main viewport, watching as they approached the Ardaxi vessel. It was beautiful in a strange way, with curves and patterns that no human ship would have. The Ardaxi designed everything to match the flow of emotions and thoughts. Their ships looked alive. "Commander, the delegation is ready to come aboard," said Lieutenant Park, one of the 5 soldiers picked for this mission. Do-hyun nodded. "Prepare the welcome area. Remember all security protocols." As they walked to the docking bay, Lieutenant Park spoke again. "Sir, have you met many Ardaxi before?" "3 times, Do-hyun said. They requested different security after each meeting. The young lieutenant looked uncomfortable. Everyone knew the stories about how telepathic species reacted to Commander Do-hyun. They said his mind felt wrong to them. Empty. Cold. The airlock doors opened with a soft hiss. 4 Ardaxi entered first. They were tall and slender with pale blue skin that seemed to glow from within. Their large eyes moved constantly, seeing things humans could not. Behind them came a human woman. Dr. Jisoo was smaller than Do-hyun had expected. Her dark hair was pulled back simply. She wore the blue robes of an Ardaxi cultural advisor, but moved with the confidence of someone comfortable in any setting. "Welcome aboard the TDS Horizon," Do-hyun said formally. "I am Commander Do-hyun, head of security for this mission." The tallest Ardaxi, wearing silver robes, stepped forward. "I am Elder Ta. We are grateful for the escort." But the elder's eyes darted away from Do-hyun quickly. Jisoo stepped forward with a smile. "Commander, thank you for the welcome. The Ardaxi are sensitive to new environments. Perhaps we could move to the meeting room." Do-hyun nodded and led the way. He noticed how the Ardaxi moved as far from him as possible in the hallway. This was normal. What was not normal was how Dr. Jisoo watched him with open curiosity. In the meeting room, Elder Ta spoke to Jisoo in the musical Ardaxi language. Jisoo frowned slightly. "Is there a problem?" Do-hyun asked. Jisoo looked at him directly. "Elder Ta is concerned about your presence. The Ardaxi can sense emotions from others. They find you difficult to read." "I am aware," Do-hyun said simply. Jisoo studied him for a moment. "Perhaps you could tell me about the security plans while the elders rest." The Ardaxi seemed relieved at this suggestion and moved to the far side of the room. Do-hyun showed Jisoo the security plans on a tablet. "Very thorough," she said, "but you might want to adjust this section. The Ardaxi will need more space here. They become anxious in crowds." Do-hyun looked at her changes. They made sense. You know them well. 3 years of study. They're fascinating. Their entire society is built around emotional connections, which is why they avoid me, Do-hyun said. Jisoo looked up at him. "They say your mind pattern is hollow. But that's not really true, is it?" Do-hyun was surprised by her direct question. No one ever asked him about this. "I focus on the mission," he answered. "Emotions are a distraction." Jisoo smiled slightly. "And yet you just adjusted the security plan to make the Ardaxi more comfortable. That shows consideration." Before Do-hyun could respond, alarms sounded throughout the ship. "Unknown vessel approaching at high speed," announced the ship's computer. Do-hyun moved immediately. "Get the delegation to the safe room. Now." As his team rushed to protect the Ardaxi, Do-hyun noticed Elder Ta staring at him with surprise. "What is it?" he asked Jisoo as they moved quickly down the corridor. "You're different when there's danger," she said. "Your mind pattern changed. Elder Ta says you feel protective." Do-hyun had no time to think about this. The ship shook as something hit their shields. "This way," he said, guiding Jisoo with a hand on her arm. It was a small gesture, automatic and quick. But Jisoo looked at him with new understanding in her eyes. The wolf might not show his feelings, but that didn't mean they weren't there. The ship shook again. Commander Do-hyun steadied himself against the wall, keeping his hand on Jisoo's arm to help her stay upright. "What's happening?" Jisoo asked, her voice calm despite the danger. "Unknown," Do-hyun replied. He tapped his communication device. "Bridge, report." The captain's voice came through, tense and quick. 3 ships appeared from nowhere. They're using some kind of cloaking technology we've never seen. They're not responding to our messages. Do-hyun made decisions instantly. Get the Ardaxi to Shuttle Bay 2. We need to reach their homeworld immediately. As they hurried down the corridor, the ship's lights flickered. The Ardaxi moved with unexpected speed, their faces showing fear. Elder Ta spoke rapidly to Jisoo in their language. They say these must be the Void Collective. Jisoo translated, keeping pace with Do-hyun. A species the Ardaxi have feared for generations. They attack without warning and harvest emotions. Harvest emotions? Do-hyun asked. They feed on emotional energy. The Ardaxi, with their telepathic abilities and rich emotional lives, are perfect targets. Another explosion hit the ship. The floor tilted sharply. Do-hyun grabbed Jisoo before she fell. What about humans? He asked. Considered poor sources, not worth the effort usually. Jisoo looked at him. Especially someone like you. They reached the shuttle bay, where 3 small ships waited. Lieutenant Park was already preparing one for launch. Commander, we can take the Ardaxi in Shuttle 1. You and Dr. Jisoo take Shuttle 2. Park looked nervously at the ceiling as more explosions sounded. Follow Emergency Protocol Delta, Do-hyun ordered. No matter what happens, get the Ardaxi to safety. As the Ardaxi boarded their shuttle, Elder Ta turned to Jisoo. His large eyes seemed to glow with worry. The Elder says be careful, Jisoo told Do-hyun after listening to the Ardaxi's musical words. The Void Collective can detect strong emotions across great distances. They'll follow the Ardaxi. Do-hyun nodded. Then we'll create a distraction. The shuttle bay doors opened to the darkness of space. The main ship was heavily damaged, parts of it glowing red from weapons fire. 3 black ships circled it like predators. Launch now, Do-hyun ordered. The shuttles shot out from the bay. Immediately, the black ships noticed them and gave chase. Do-hyun took manual control of Shuttle 2. Hold tight, he told Jisoo. He flew directly at one of the enemy ships, then veered away at the last second. The maneuver caught the enemy by surprise. 2 of the black ships followed Do-hyun's shuttle, while only one chased the Ardaxi. Your plan is working, Jisoo said. Do-hyun steered toward the Ardaxi homeworld, visible as a blue-green planet ahead. Not yet. We need to draw them further away. He changed course, heading toward the planet's largest moon. The enemy ships followed. Suddenly, their shuttle rocked violently. Warning lights flashed red across the control panel. Engine damaged, the shuttle's computer announced. Landing systems failing. Do-hyun looked at the planetary surface rapidly approaching. We're going to crash. Jisoo strapped herself in tighter. Can you control where? Partially. Do-hyun's hands moved quickly over the controls. There's a forest region ahead. It might cushion our landing. The shuttle entered the planet's atmosphere, flames streaming behind it. Do-hyun remained focused, his face showing no fear as he fought for control. Jisoo watched him with wonder. You're completely calm. I'm doing what needs to be done, he replied. The trees of the forest rushed up to meet them. Do-hyun turned to Jisoo at the last moment. Brace for impact, he said, and did something unexpected. He reached over and put his arm across her chest, adding protection to her safety harness. The shuttle hit the trees with a deafening crash. Metal tore. Glass shattered. The world spun and went dark. When Jisoo opened her eyes, the shuttle was on its side. Smoke filled the air. She looked over to see Do-hyun, unconscious, blood running from a cut on his forehead. Outside, the toxic atmosphere of the Ardaxi moon swirled with strange colors. They were alive, but stranded in one of the most dangerous places in the galaxy. Jisoo coughed as smoke filled the crashed shuttle. She tried to move but felt a sharp pain in her leg. The air inside was getting thinner. Outside, the toxic atmosphere of the Ardaxi moon swirled with strange purple mist. A groan came from beside her. Commander Do-hyun was waking up, blood still running from the cut on his head. "Don't move too fast," Ji-soo said. "You might have a concussion." Do-hyun ignored her advice. He assessed the situation quickly, checking the shuttle systems. "Life support is failing," he said. "Oxygen levels are dropping." Ji-soo looked at her own suit readouts. "My suit is damaged. The seal is broken." Fear crept into her voice. "The atmosphere here is toxic to humans." Do-hyun moved with purpose. He opened a panel and pulled out an emergency repair kit. As he worked on her suit, Ji-soo watched his face. It remained calm, focused. "Why did you follow me?" she asked. "You were supposed to stay with the Ardaxi delegation." "The mission changed when we were separated," he replied, still working. "That's not an answer." Do-hyun paused briefly. "You are essential to the mission's success. The Ardaxi trust you." He finished the repairs but frowned at the results. "This isn't enough. Your oxygen supply is critically damaged." Without hesitation, he connected their air systems together with a spare tube. "This will share my supply with you." "But that reduces your air by half," Ji-soo said. "It gives us both time to find better shelter." Do-hyun checked the shuttle's communication system. No signal. The crash damaged our transmitter. He helped Ji-soo stand. Her leg hurt, but she could walk. The shuttle scanner picked up a structure 2 kilometers east. Do-hyun said, "It might be an Ardaxi outpost." They stepped out into the alien landscape. Strange plants grew everywhere, their leaves moving even without wind. The sky above was dark green. Every breath they took came through their connected air systems. "We need to move quickly," Do-hyun said. "At current consumption, we have 4 hours of air." They walked in silence for a while. Ji-soo studied the commander as they moved. Despite his injury and their dangerous situation, he showed no signs of fear. "You really don't feel anything, do you?" she finally asked. Do-hyun glanced at her. "Feelings waste energy and oxygen. The Ardaxi say you're different from other humans, that your emotional patterns are locked away. The Ardaxi are uncomfortable with me. Most telepathic species are." Ji-soo shook her head. "It's more than that. They find you fascinating, like a puzzle." The landscape changed as they walked. The plants became larger, forming a forest of strange blue trees. The structure they were heading toward became visible in the distance. "That's not an outpost," Ji-soo said with surprise. "It's an ancient Ardaxi temple. They built them on moons as places of meditation." The temple was made of stone, covered with symbols that glowed faintly. It stood untouched by time, protected from the harsh environment. "It should be sealed," Ji-soo said hopefully. "The air inside might be breathable." They reached the entrance, a tall doorway with more glowing symbols. Ji-soo studied them. "I think I can open it," she said. She pressed certain symbols in sequence. The door slid open. Clean air rushed out. They hurried inside, and the door closed behind them. Do-hyun checked his instruments. "The air is safe." They disconnected their air supplies. Ji-soo took a deep breath of the fresh air and sat down on a stone bench. "How did you know which symbols to press?" Do-hyun asked. "I studied Ardaxi history. Their temples all used the same opening sequence, the symbols for life, peace, and shelter." Do-hyun looked around the temple. The walls were covered with images telling ancient stories. A soft light came from crystals in the ceiling. "We should be safe here until rescue comes," Ji-soo said. Do-hyun nodded. "If they come." Ji-soo looked at him with surprise. "That's not very optimistic." "It's realistic. The Void Collective may still be hunting. Rescue might not be possible." Ji-soo studied his face. "So we wait here and hope. That doesn't seem like your style." "No," Do-hyun said. "We rest, recover, and then find a way to contact the Ardaxi ourselves." He sat down across from her, his face showing a hint of pain from his injury. "Your head needs treatment," Ji-soo said. "It can wait." No, it can't. Jisoo moved closer to him. Let me help you. We need each other to survive this. For a moment, Do-hyun seemed uncertain. Then he nodded slightly. As Jisoo tended to his wound, she asked quietly, "Have you always been alone, Commander?" Do-hyun looked at Jisoo for a long moment before answering her question. "Not always," he said finally. "I had a family once. On Colony 12. Jisoo remembered the name. Colony 12 had been destroyed in the early wars with hostile alien forces. Few had survived. I was 10 when they came. Do-hyun continued, his voice even. My parents, my sister, they died trying to protect others. Jisoo finished bandaging his head wound. I'm sorry. The military found me hiding. They saw potential in a child who stayed calm during the attack, who made logical decisions instead of emotional ones. So they trained you to be this way. Do-hyun shook his head slightly. They encouraged what was already there. I learned early that emotions led to mistakes, to death. In the center of the temple, crystal lights glowed brighter as night fell outside. The images on the walls seemed to move in the changing light. The Ardaxi believe emotions are strength, not weakness, Jisoo said. They think humans limit themselves by trying to control their feelings. Do-hyun stood up and checked their supplies. The Ardaxi have never fought in our wars. Miles away, at the Ardaxi capital city, Elder Ta sat in the council chamber. His eyes were closed as he focused his mind. Around him, other elders did the same, their blue skin glowing with concentration. I can sense the human female, Elder Ta said. She is alive. In one of our old temples on the third moon. And the male? Asked another elder. His mind is more difficult. But Elder Tae's eyes opened wide with surprise. Something is changing. His emotional pattern is shifting when he is near her. The council members looked at each other in alarm. This should not be possible, said Elder Jae, the oldest among them. The human called Wolf has emotional damage too deep to heal. Yet I sense it clearly, insisted Elder Ta. His mind is awakening. Back in the temple, Jisoo explored the ancient carvings while Do-hyun tried to repair their communication device. These tell the history of the Ardaxi, she explained, running her hand over the stone. How they evolved from emotional beings into telepathic ones. Do-hyun glanced up. Can you read their language? Some of it. Jisoo moved to another wall. This section is about the great emptiness. I think it's what they call space. She continued reading, then stopped suddenly. Wait. This part mentions creatures that feed on emotions. The Void Collective. Do-hyun put down his tools and joined her. What does it say? It's an old warning. The Void Collective hunted the Ardaxi for centuries. She paused, trying to translate. They consume emotional energy. And the Ardaxi, being telepathic, are like a feast to them. Why are they attacking now, after all this time? Jisoo studied the carvings more carefully. Something about a cycle. They return every few hundred years. Outside the temple, the sky darkened completely. Strange sounds echoed through the alien forest. We should rest, Do-hyun said. Take turns sleeping. Jisoo nodded. I'll take first watch. But as she sat beside the crystal lights, she noticed Do-hyun wasn't preparing to sleep. He sat against the wall, watching the entrance. You need rest too, she said. I'm fine. Jisoo moved closer to him. You know, the Ardaxi can sense emotions across great distances. Elder Ta might be able to find us if what? If you allowed yourself to feel something strongly enough for them to detect. Do-hyun's face remained unchanged. I don't work that way. Jisoo looked at him with curiosity. I think you do. I think you feel things very deeply. You just bury them. For the first time, Do-hyun seemed uncomfortable. This discussion isn't helpful for our survival. I disagree, Jisoo said gently. Understanding each other is exactly what will help us survive. Before Do-hyun could respond, a distant sound caught their attention. Something was moving through the forest toward the temple. The Void Collective, Jisoo whispered. Do-hyun moved quickly to the entrance, weapon ready. Stay back. Miles away, Elder Tai suddenly stood up. The wolf's mind pattern has changed dramatically. I can sense him clearly now. What caused it? Asked Elder Jai. Fear, replied Elder Ta. Not for himself. He looked at the other elders with wonder. For her. The sounds outside the temple grew louder. Branches snapped and strange whispers filled the air. Do-hyun positioned himself at the entrance, weapon ready. Can they get in? Jisoo asked, moving to his side. The door is sealed, but they might find another way. Do-hyun checked his weapon's power level. Stay back. I can help, Jisoo insisted. Tell me what to do. Do-hyun looked at her for a moment, then nodded. Check if there are other entrances. Look for weak points in the walls. As Jisoo examined the temple, shadows moved outside the main entrance. 3 tall figures appeared, their bodies thin and dark like empty space. They had no faces, only smooth surfaces where features should be. Void Collectors, Jisoo whispered, just like in the carvings. The creatures pressed against the door, making no sound. Their hands left dark marks on the stone. They're trying to sense our emotions, Jisoo said. That's how they find prey. The temple walls began to glow brighter, responding to the threat outside. Ancient defense systems activated after centuries of sleep. The temple is protecting itself, Jisoo said with surprise. The crystals are generating some kind of energy field. The Void Collectors moved back, seemingly confused by the temple's defenses. Then one of them turned its blank face toward a section of wall where Jisoo stood. It can sense you, Do-hyun said sharply. Move away from the wall. Jisoo stepped back, but not fast enough. The wall where she had been standing began to darken, as if the creature outside was drawing something from it. The temple defenses are weakening, she said. They're feeding on the energy. Do-hyun moved quickly, examining the temple's control crystals. There must be a way to strengthen the field. Jisoo studied the ancient control panel. I think I understand how it works. The Ardaxi use emotional energy to power their technology. The crystals respond to feelings. That won't help us then, Do-hyun said. The wall continued to darken. Small cracks appeared in the stone. It will help, Jisoo insisted. The Ardaxi say humans have stronger emotions than any species they've encountered. We just need to channel them. She placed her hands on the main crystal. It glowed brighter in response. See, it works with me. The temple's defenses strengthened slightly, but the Void Collectors continued their attack. The cracks in the wall grew larger. It's not enough, Do-hyun said. We need more power. Jisoo looked at him. We need you. Your emotions would be stronger. I don't. Yes, you do, Jisoo interrupted. You feel things. You just lock them away. Outside, one of the Void Collectors broke through the wall. A dark, smoky hand reached inside. Without hesitation, Do-hyun fired his weapon. The energy blast hit the creature, which pulled back momentarily. The weapons won't stop them for long, he said. The creature reached in again, this time toward Jisoo. Do-hyun moved between them, firing repeatedly. Commander, please, Jisoo urged. Touch the crystal. Let yourself feel something. Do-hyun continued firing, but the creatures kept coming. One grabbed his arm, and he felt a strange coldness spread through his body. It was drawing something from him. They feed on fear, Jisoo shouted. Don't fight it with emptiness. Fight it with something stronger. The creature pulling at Do-hyun suddenly stopped. It tilted its blank face, as if confused. In the Ardaxi capital, Elder Ta gasped. Something unprecedented is happening, he told the council. The wolf's emotional barrier is breaking. Back in the temple, Do-hyun looked at Jisoo. The coldness of the creature still gripped him, but something else was growing stronger. What do I do? He asked, his voice different than Jisoo had ever heard it. "Remember something that matters to you," she said. "Something worth protecting." Do-hyun reached for the crystal with his free hand. As he touched it, images flashed in his mind. Colony 12. His family. The years of loneliness. And now, Jisoo. The crystal blazed with sudden light. The temple hummed with power. The void collector touching Do-hyun shrieked and pulled away, as if burned. The wall sealed itself. The dark marks vanished. Outside, the creatures retreated into the forest. Jisoo stared at Do-hyun in amazement. "What did you do?" Do-hyun looked at his hand, still glowing faintly from contact with the crystal. For the first time, Jisoo saw real emotion on his face. "I remembered," he said simply. The temple remained quiet after the void collectors retreated. Do-hyun sat against the wall, his eyes closed. Jisoo watched him with concern. "Are you all right?" she asked. Do-hyun opened his eyes. "Yes. It's just overwhelming." "What is?" "Feeling," he said simply. Jisoo sat beside him. "What did you remember when you touched the crystal?" Before he could answer, the temple filled with light. The entrance opened, and 5 Ardaxi entered, led by Elder Ta. "You are safe," the elder said, relief clear in his voice. "We followed your emotional signal." Jisoo stood quickly. "Elder Ta, how did you find us?" The elder looked at Do-hyun with wonder. The wolf's mind pattern became a beacon we could not ignore. It drew us here despite the danger. Do-hyun rose slowly to his feet. "The void collectors. Gone for now, but they will return," Elder Tae replied. "We must leave quickly." The Ardaxi led them out of the temple to a waiting ship. Once inside, Jisoo noticed how the Ardaxi looked at Do-hyun differently than before. Not with fear, but with curiosity. In the ship's medical area, healers treated their injuries. Elder Ta stayed close, observing Do-hyun. "There is much to explain," the elder said as they neared the Ardaxi capital. "The High Council wishes to speak with you both." The capital city was unlike anything Jisoo had seen before. Buildings made of crystal and living plants rose into the sky. Light moved through them like flowing water. The High Council chamber was at the city's center, a circular room with 12 Ardaxi elders seated in a ring. Elder Jae, the oldest, spoke first. "Do you know why the void collectors target us, Commander Do-hyun?" Jisoo said they feed on emotions. Do-hyun replied. "Yes, but there is more." Elder Jae raised his hand, and an image appeared in the air. It showed a map of the galaxy, with certain planets glowing brighter than others. The bright worlds are species with rich emotional lives. Jisoo explained to Do-hyun. "The Ardaxi are among the brightest." "And humans?" Do-hyun asked. Elder Jae changed the image. Earth glowed dimly. "This is how the void collectors see your world. We appear to be poor sources of emotional energy," Jisoo said. "That's why they usually ignored humans." "That is what they want you to believe," Elder Ta said. "But it is a lie they have spread for centuries." The council members looked at each other, and Elder Jae nodded. It is time they knew the truth. "The truth about what?" Do-hyun asked. "About humans," Elder Jae replied, "and why the void collectors truly fear you." The image changed again, showing Earth glowing much brighter than before. "This is how we see humans," Elder Jae said. "Your emotional capacity is greater than any species we have encountered. The void collectors spread lies about humans being emotionally limited because they fear you." Jisoo looked confused. "Fear us? Why?" "Because human emotional bonds create energy patterns the collectors cannot feed on," Elder Tat explained. "Especially the bond you call love. It is toxic to them." Do-hyun stared at the image. If that's true, why do they see humans as dim sources? "Many humans hide their emotions, as you did," Elder Jae said. "The collectors see only what you allow to surface. They spread propaganda that humans are cold predators, incapable of the deeper emotional resonances other species value. It isolated your kind while letting them harvest others freely. Jisoo turned to Do-hyun. That's why they retreated when you powered the crystal. Your emotions were harmful to them. But how? Do-hyun asked. I was trained to suppress emotions since childhood. Elder Ta stepped forward. The emotions were always there, Commander, like water behind a dam. When you finally allowed yourself to feel, the elder paused. What did you feel in that moment? Do-hyun looked at Jisoo. Protective, he said quietly. Concerned, unwilling to let harm come to her. The Ardaxi Council members looked at each other with knowing expressions. The very thing the collectors fear most, Elder Jay said. The beginning of a human bond, what you might call caring. Perhaps one day, even love. Do-hyun's face showed confusion, but Jisoo noticed something else. For the first time, the wolf looked truly alive. Alarms sounded throughout the Ardaxi capital. The High Council room filled with urgent voices as reports came in from across the planet. The Void Collectors have launched a major attack, Elder Jay announced. 3 of their motherships have entered our atmosphere. Images appeared showing massive black vessels descending through the clouds. Smaller ships poured out like insects from a nest. They're targeting our emotion centers, Elder Ta said. The places where our people gather to share telepathic connections. Do-hyun stepped forward. How many defense ships do you have? Our people are not warriors, Elder Jay replied. We have few weapons. Our defenses are based on hiding our emotional signatures, which is no longer working, Jisoo observed. Elder Ta nodded. They have found a way to detect us despite our shielding. Do-hyun studied the attack pattern on the display. They're being methodical. This isn't a random harvest. They're trying to destroy your civilization. The council members looked at each other with growing fear. Their blue skin paled to almost white. We need to contact Terran Defense, Do-hyun said. Request emergency assistance. Communications are blocked, an Ardaxi technician reported. The collectors are jamming all signals leaving the planet. Jisoo had been quiet, studying the ancient texts displayed in the council room. Now she looked up with sudden understanding. The temple, she said. The crystals responded to human emotions. They created energy the collectors couldn't feed on. Elder Ta nodded slowly. The ancient defense system, but it protected only a small area. What if we could expand it? Jisoo asked. Create a planet-wide version. Elder Jay shook his head. Impossible. The technology was lost centuries ago. Not lost, Jisoo insisted. I saw the designs in the temple carvings. The Ardaxi once built a network of emotional amplifiers across their world. They channeled feelings into a protective shield. Even if that were true, Elder Ta said, our emotional range is no longer strong enough to power such a system. The collectors have harvested too much from our people over generations. Jisoo looked at Do-hyun. But human emotions are. The council room went silent. All eyes turned to Do-hyun. You want to use me as the power source, he said, understanding immediately. Not just you, Jisoo explained. The bond between us. What happened in the temple wasn't just your emotions breaking free. It was the connection forming between us that created the energy the collectors couldn't handle. Do-hyun's face showed rare uncertainty. I'm not sure I understand. Elder Jai stepped forward. The Ardaxi have an ancient ritual called the Mind Link. It allows 2 beings to share their emotional landscape completely. It was used in the past to power our strongest defenses. You want us to do this Mind Link? Do-hyun asked. It would be dangerous, Elder Ta warned. For both of you, but especially for you, Commander. Your emotions have been contained for so long. To share them fully, it would be like breaking a dam, Jisoo finished. Outside, explosions lit up the sky. The building shook. Time was running out. If we succeed, Jisoo asked, what would happen? The emotional resonance between you would be amplified through our crystal network, Elder Jay explained. It would create a wave of energy harmful to the collectors. And if we fail? Do-hyun asked. The elder's face was grave. Your minds could be lost. Or worse, become food for the collectors. Do-hyun looked at Jisoo. It's your decision too. Jisoo reached out and touched his arm. I trust you, she said simply. Something shifted in Do-hyun's eyes at her touch. His usual mask of control slipped further. How soon can we begin? He asked. Now, Elder Jae said. Before it's too late. As the elders prepared the ritual chamber, Do-hyun pulled Jisoo aside. There's something you should know, he said, his voice unusually hesitant. When I touch the crystals, when I let myself feel, it's always about you. Jisoo looked into his eyes. I know, she said softly. Around them, the Ardaxi capital burned as the void collectors closed in, hunting for the emotional energy they craved and feared. The ritual chamber lay deep beneath the Ardaxi capital. Ancient crystals lined the walls, larger than those in the temple. In the center stood 2 stone platforms connected by a bridge of light. Do-hyun and Jisoo stood at the entrance as Elder Jae explained the procedure. Each of you will stand on a platform. When the mind link begins, you must not resist. Allow your thoughts and feelings to flow freely between you. Elder Ta approached with ceremonial robes. These will help channel the energy. As they prepared, the ground shook violently. Above them, the void collectors were destroying the city. We must hurry, Elder Jae urged. Do-hyun looked at Jisoo. Are you certain about this? She nodded. Yes. Are you? For a moment, Do-hyun was silent. Then he said, For years, I've locked everything away. I'm not sure what will happen when it all comes out. I'll be there with you, Jisoo promised. They took their positions on the platforms. Around them, Ardaxi elders began to sing in their musical language. The crystals responded, glowing with increasing brightness. Remember, Elder Jae said, focus on your connection. Let it guide you. The bridge of light between the platforms grew stronger. Do-hyun felt a strange sensation, as if something was pulling at his mind. It's beginning, Jisoo said. Her voice sounded distant. Then suddenly, they were no longer standing in the chamber. They were somewhere else, a place made of thoughts and memories. Do-hyun saw Jisoo in front of him, but she looked different here. She glowed with warm light. I can see your feelings, she said with wonder. They're like colors. Do-hyun felt exposed, vulnerable. His carefully maintained walls were dissolving. Don't fight it, Jisoo encouraged. Let me see you, all of you. Do-hyun took a deep breath and let go. Years of suppressed emotions rushed out like a flood. Pain from his childhood, loneliness from years of isolation, fear that he had lost his humanity forever. Jisoo moved closer in this mind space. You've been carrying so much, she said gently. But there was more. Beneath the darkness, something else was growing. Something that had started when he first saw Jisoo. A feeling he had no name for. I don't understand it, he admitted. I do, Jisoo said. She reached out her hand, and when they touched, a new light exploded between them. In the physical world, the chamber filled with blinding light. The crystal network throughout the planet began to glow, connecting in lines of power never seen before. The Ardaxi elders stepped back in awe. It's working, Elder Ta whispered. Above the planet, the massive void collector mothership hovered over the capital. Inside, the shadowy creatures prepared to harvest the rich emotional energy of the Ardaxi. Then something changed. A wave of energy unlike any they had encountered rose from the planet's surface. It wasn't fear or pain or any emotion they recognized. It was what humans called love. Not just any love, but the unique bond forming between 2 specific humans. It carried the protective fierceness of Do-hyun and the compassionate understanding of Jisoo, amplified through Ardaxi technology, until it became a weapon. The energy wave hit the collector ships. Their dark surfaces cracked, letting in light. The creatures inside shrieked as they encountered an emotion they could neither feed on nor understand. One by one, the ships turned away from the planet, retreating into space. In the chamber below, Do-hyun and Ji-soo slowly returned to awareness. They stood facing each other, the mind link complete. "What happened?" Do-hyun asked, his voice different than before, alive with feeling. Elder Jay approached them, his face full of wonder. "You have saved our world. The collectors are retreating." "How?" Ji-soo asked. "The bond between you created something they could not feed on," Elder Tat explained. "Something toxic to them." Do-hyun looked at Ji-soo with new understanding. "They said the wolf couldn't love." Ji-soo smiled. They were wrong. Outside, the Ardaxi people emerged from hiding to find their city damaged but their world safe. News spread across the galaxy of how two humans had created an emotional defense that changed everything. The wolf, it seemed, had found his heart, and with it, saved the world.